Hello everyone. I actually just decided to do this video now. I finally finished the last of Samurai Jack from, when it got renewed and everything. I think everybody's calling it season 5. I honestly have no idea what season it is. I just wanted to do a video about it. Well, I've actually wanted to do a couple, but now that it's actually ended, I decided to just do all my rambles as one full video now that the entire thing is over. So if you haven't watched it yet, or you haven't finished it, you might not want to continue watching this video because spoilers. Yeah, so before we get started, what do you think of my hair? I don't really know what to call this style. It's just two pigtails messily wrapped around and pinned like crazy into my head, and then with these two clips on either end, kind of Sailor Moon inspired, Anyway, moving on. So, first off, I would just like to say that I greatly enjoyed Samurai Jack. When I was a child, I enjoyed watching it, It was really interesting. The art style was cool. I liked Jack. There was a couple of times where I actually thought that he might have been Professor Utonium until they made it very clear that he is in no way Professor Utonium. So, that kind of, I don't know, disappointed me just a little bit. Just a little disappointment, but not really. Samurai Jack is real cool. The one thing, though, that I was curious of is, which they did show eventually, is that Jack is not his real name. It's a name that people just ended up saying to him, as a turn of phrase, and then it just got adopted into his name, to which his name became Samurai Jack, if not just Samurai or Jack, but usually together, which ended up making me wonder, what the hell is his real name? Apparently we will never know, because I don't recall them ever actually saying his name at the end of the series. Nobody said his real name. If they did, I completely missed it. Maybe I should rewatch it. Does anybody know what that fool's real name is? What is that samurai fool's name? It's in the comments. Let me know if you know it, because I've always been curious of what his real name was, so that way I could call him by his actual name. Do you think maybe he had forgotten what his own name was? He never gave it to anybody. Why didn't he? Did he not feel it was significant that they knew his name? I mean, what's up with that? Okay, so anyway, the way they start the series is always a recounting. Instead of going with Aku recounting the episode, it's Jack. It's the samurai. And I thought it was pretty cool, especially the different sceneries that they show, and also how just forlorn and depressed he is. It's very touching, very touching. Until I ended up going, whatever, about how he felt, because I'm just like, until there's actually an ending to this, I'm going to assume that shit works out for you, bro. That's just how I felt about it. Okay, so, yeah, there was the whole thing with the spirit that he kept possibly hallucinating coming towards him. Nobody really knew what the hell was up with that up until it finally got resolved in an episode. But until then, I actually thought that it was an ancestor, that it could have been an ancestor that was there, like, popping up periodically to stare at him, just like, keep your spirit, sort of thing. Either that or to, don't fuck up, I'm watching you. Do not disgrace your ancestors sort of stare, one or the other. But the other one that I really was hoping that it would be was his future self. Because, we already got time traveling shit going on. That's the whole fucking plot point of the damn series. So what I was wondering, if maybe it was himself, whether a vision of himself or his actual self in the future, briefly managing to appear back in time to show himself. Because I don't know if you guys remember, but there was that one time portal where apparently he's the only person who was going to be allowed to go through it, and that was one of the ways that I thought that this series was finally going to end, or at least occur right before the end of it and get to, was Jack finally being the man that, you know, was meant to go through that portal, that guard was thinking about. Because he said only one person is going to be allowed, and you ain't him. And in actuality, it was Jack. It just wasn't Jack at this time. And, you know, this Jack is bearded and everything. So I'm like, all right, so it's a matter of time before X, Y, and Z. And no, it didn't happen. The future Jack that was going to be allowed to pass through that portal was King Jack, and he had a beard and every goddamn thing. And a crown. He had a beard, and I think he was on a horse. He had a crown and stuff and armor. So I'm like, oh hey, what if that's him? What if that's a projection of his future self coming back to his past self to like give hints and clues and shit on how to be the man he's going to become in order to go through the goddamn portal. That's what I was going for. That's what I was hoping. It didn't happen. So another thing though was that other self, he was talking to himself angrily. That also got resolved. That was actually that was hilarious to me. Jack chewing himself out. That other Jack was kind of crazy. He was like, he looked like he was going mad with rage, which I guess in a way he was deep down due to all the shit he's been going through and the way he kept being denied to go back home to fix this mess that he was tasked to fix. I mean, that shit's got to weigh on the mind. And it actually did, this is pretty cool to see that, you know, he is human, and we know he has his flaws, and he makes his mistakes, and we actually got to see a bit more of that in this one, because, honestly, from my memories of the previous episodes of Samurai Jack, he was practically flawless. Like that song, Absolutely Flawless. This is my Pocky, by the way. Pocky, 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 Pocky. I never finished eating it from my trip to Asa. Didn't even open it up. I brought it just in case I had a hankering for some Pocky, and I didn't, so now I'm eating it now. Okay, anyway, back on point. Damn, it was kind of long. Maybe I can cut it down to be a little bit shorter. It's about 8 minutes. Let's see. And other issues that were going on was all fine and dandy. It was the fucking Daughters of Aku. That shit. Oh my god. I wasn't completely sure on what the hell was going on there. Like, they called themselves the Daughters of Aku. Obviously, it's a cult. You know, he does have followers and people who believe in him or think highly of him or whatever. Even if some of their beliefs are false, which clearly their beliefs were, or at least the kids were. I'm pretty sure those women were more than aware of the fact that Aku really ain't shit, but, you know, then again, maybe they weren't. Yeah. But there was a few grown-ass women there, right? And then there was that person who was giving birth to babies. So, my question was it really all just one woman? Did she seriously just give birth to 7 goddamn daughters that quick? Or, as I first thought when watching it, I couldn't even rewind it because I'm just like, what the fuck? While the shit was occurring, was maybe it was a few of them, you know, like 2, maybe more different women all giving birth at the same time to a few kids. Because if all 7 of them kids came out of one person, that's a lot. They do all look a lot alike though. And I don't know, I actually kind of wonder about their lifestyle. We saw a bit of that, surely, but you know, they were all little kids and they all huddled together, and they did in a way care about each other, other than the times they were discouraged to because, you know, the weak get left to die or whatever the fuck else. Oh, and didn't Aishi, am I saying her name right? The only one of the Daughters of Aku who actually fucking lived, which I still find strange. Did she actually kill one of those adults? Apparently not the one they call Mother, but she had to have killed one of them, right? When she caught the arrow that was shot at her and then just stabbed it in the face hole of the mask. There was a lot of blood there. I'm pretty sure they lost more than an eye. That might have went to their brain matter. You know, given how fucking strong those girls were. That person has to be dead, right? That was probably Aishi's first kill, maybe? What do you guys think? Because when I first saw it, I'm like, damn! Especially the commercial. That seemed to be like one of their favorite commercial clips to show for Samurai Jack. And every time I see it, I'm like, God damn, she gotta be dead. So, that's another thing about the Daughters of Aku. I'm very happy that Jack did not have a super mega breakdown freak out of, oh no, I've killed a human and it's a female sort of thing, because I'm like, this can't be your first time killing a human. You've been trained to fight and have been trained as a warrior practically your whole life, and you've been fighting in this world for over 50 goddamn years. So surely, during that time, both before you got put in the past, or not put in the past, but put in the crazy future, and also in the past, so yeah, in before the crazy, and then after you got tossed into the crazy, surely you've killed some people, right? I mean, you've killed plenty of beings. I know that you usually, like, attack them to where they're fucking, what is just lying there all decrepit and bleeding out or whatever, and, you know, they might have a chance for survival, or they might die. He's killed plenty of robots, but those robots were practically human or alien life form, so even though it's machines, they still had a concept of life, you know? So, in a way, they were human or humanoid, and it could count as taking a life, especially if they are unable to be revived. So, when that was happening, my whole thing was, do not freak out. Do not freak out. If you wig out over killing somebody, over having blood on your hands after so many years of not killing what you believe to be an actual human, I will lose respect for you. That's just how I felt. He's a fucking warrior and a killer. He should not go all Twitter because one of the people he killed actually bled on him, you know? But unfortunately that didn't happen. He's just like, oh, and then he saw that it was a girl, you know, looking like a young woman. Don't really know how old those bitches were, but you can assume that they're young adults. Or late teens, maybe like 17, 18, 19. Anyway, fucking that wolf, though, before we met those daughters, there was those two different paths that was going on. One that Jack was traveling down, the other the wolf was traveling down. I love that goddamn wolf. That one, I was hoping for, ooh, wolf companion, future wolf companion, sidekick, he helps him out. They learn some things from each other, or whatever the fuck, I don't care, just have him be with Jack. And I got my wish. He was with Jack. I'm so happy about that. That was great. Unfortunately, he did not stay. He left. I will assume that the Arctic wolf lived a nice little long life, you know, steady fucking people up anytime they mess with him. But Jack ended up leaving, and then after dealing with the Daughters of Aku, of which only one survived, again, how is that possible? How is she the only one that survived if few of the other ones should have survived as well, especially if they landed on top of each other and then, you know, it's the soft snow, or they would have work to do, because he didn't kill each of them before knocking them off. He just knocked some of them off. If Aisha survived, why wouldn't have any of the others? There should have been at least one of her sisters that were still alive at the end, but no, just her. Why just her? And then she eventually learns more about Jack and the evil of Aku and all this other stuff, and you know, you already know she's gonna end up being his traveling companion, which she does, and she goes to help with the fight of Aku and blah blah blah, and it was all fine and dandy. I was feeling a little salty because I wanted the wolf to be his traveling companion. I like animals, you know, and that wolf was cool. That wolf was cool, people. I'll admit, Aishi's really fucking cute. When she had that leaf outfit she put together, you know, she just looked like a goddamn Tinkerbell to me. She's a fucking Tinkerbell cosplayer. That's all I could think of when I saw her put that on. And then I was wondering if they were gonna have her be a romantic companion as well as a traveling companion, a comrade, because, you know, that's usually the way to go. And they did, but they did it so goddamn abruptly. Like, I'm watching the episode you know, and all up until this point in time where they kiss, they're just like all nervous, and Jack is goddamn adorable. I forgot just how adorable he is when he is nervous, which does not happen often at all, if I'm recalling correctly. That he doesn't really get nervous. He doesn't really interact with the opposite gender all that much in order to get flustered like that. So it was really cute. I liked it. He still, you know, was his same self, and he wasn't a bumbling doofus. He just stuttered quite a bit and sweat some and couldn't really make eye contact all that well. He was cute. He was a cute little buddy boy. He's gonna be added to my buddy boy list. It's adorable. Anyway, moving on. That kiss was so goddamn abrupt that it almost pissed me off, if I'm being perfectly honest. Like, how the hell do you guys go through all that panic and shit? I mean, yeah, you saw her almost, well, no. It was us who got the censorship. So, he saw her completely fucking naked. Yeah, sure, that's a thing. Yeah, okay. Just get the blood boiling, especially when you're trying to focus on battle. Sure, why not? And then she sees him practically naked in just his underwear. Yeah, sure. Jack has the finest of fine-ass bodies, so, you know, just can't get mad at you. But you guys just went through an electric shock that exploded your enemy. Literally exploded your enemy. So you had to be in a lot of pain, and you're breathing and catching your breath. And while you're still breathing, to catch your breath, and you guys make eye contact, and suddenly it's Smooch City with this weird-ass love song playing. It sounded like an old-school love song, too. I don't know if that was made specifically for the show, or if it was something that they found that they thought fit. And yeah, I guess it fit, but still, it was so abrupt. And then there was the whole thing where apparently Aku didn't actually purposely impregnate anybody. He just liquidated some of his DNA into a cup, and apparently them crazy ass bitches, one of them, drunk it and immediately got pregnant. So apparently Aku doesn't have a dick, or if he does have a dick, he did not use it to impregnate any of those female cult members of his. So that's something. And then he's somewhat able to control Aishi, and she looked like something from out of one of those scary movies I refused to watch. She was goddamn, she moved so goddamn scary. Like if you take her out of Samurai Jack, or even kept her in there, put her in a different setting, throw some of that creepy ass scary music in there, fix the light a bit darker, nightmares. That's what she was. She was the thing of nightmares and scary movies. Fuck. Anyway, she was trying to fight, but had that blank ass, empty void of a face. When Jack's just like, fight, and she's inside of herself like, bitch, I am fighting. Ugh, I'm tired, I give up. And then he goes, no, I love you. And I'm like, bitch. I was wondering if they was going to do that too, most likely, and I was just disappointment. Because honestly, it's always love, isn't it? I know this is our old school nostalgia cartoon or whatever, but him saying I love you, and then 5 seconds later, she managed to fight enough to gain control, and then gain more control, and then she broke out. So it's like, what the fuck was that even for? All this time, you were about to give up. So what, you just needed to fight just a little bit longer, and you would have broken free? And it just so happened Jack said that he loved you? Like, bitch, did you even hear that? Did she even hear that? I think she said I love you too, so she probably heard it. I don't know. I don't care. I was raging. Anyway, long story short, on the rest of how I feel about this shit is, it's bullshit. She fucking died. They went to the past because she was able to transport them to the past, and I don't know how the hell that this is supposed to be explained, but she died. She didn't die immediately. She died. This makes no goddamn sense to me. I mean, if she couldn't exist because Aku no longer existed, the fact, did it just take that long for the consequences of killing Aku back in his time, to, you know, right after he originally left? Did it take that long for the consequences to reach their time period to where they end up going in time? Since she's a time hopper, couldn't she technically override that? I mean, yeah, she's born with some of Aku's DNA, but, and also somebody else for the future, but she's already existing, and she herself is not entirely human and is a time traveling wherever the fuck Aku is. So she should have been able to override that and stay. And poor Jack's fear ended up coming true anyway. She ended up becoming a memory. Like, what? I almost cried. Like, seriously, I felt so bad for him. Like, aw. From the start, he tried to get away from her because he didn't want her to become a memory. Nothing more than a memory. And he almost got his wish fully and completely. Almost. Man, that bitch was almost his bride. She was his fiance. You know, and however long it took to set up all that wedding, she was there all that time. So, it just messes with me. It does. I feel like it's somewhat illogical. Like, yeah, you would expect that to happen, but given that it didn't happen immediately, or didn't start happening immediately, it only happened and only started appearing and then suddenly happened right when such a joyous occasion was commencing. It's just bullshit. I was like the very last fuck you was really hard fuck you. You know, all that up in your face and down your throat to Jack from Aku. Which, looking at it that way, I feel a little bit better because I can see that. But otherwise, no. She shouldn't be dead. Why is she dead? What logical reasoning is there other than, oh, Zuko's dead? Bitch, please. Oh well, whatever. He seems to be appropriately moving on from his deceased almost wife, so, yeah. So long as he's not, like, suffering from crippling depression, I can deal. I can deal. I still want to know what the fuck his real name is, though. Alright, well, that's it for me. And if you guys enjoyed my ramblings, if you have any answers to any of my questions, please comment below and tell me, talk to me. I'd love to hear from you guys. Hopefully I can get my other half to post up some videos in the near future. It ain't looking good. She be busy and forgetful. Yeah, so anyway, bye! Oh yeah, look at this adorable shit I got! Ah, you jealous, right? You jealous? You jealous? Is you jealous? It's from 7 Deadly Sins! Yeah, I got this adorable shit at ASIN! I love it! I love it!